Hi, this is Mason, and you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Now it's time to start the post-game show. Here's Brian.
Oh man, we're back again. Can we just do this? We're just here. Yeah, we're here again. Basketball post-game show time. You better believe it. There is a link on the Syracuse website saying that they are going to stream Red's post-game press conference. So if that is true, and if that is available, us, will bring it to you. Yeah, you better believe it's Mason again, Ryan. He's full-time staff, and he works for real cheap. Real cheap. What's up, guys? LA Orange, Cav, Ryan, the whole crew. Glad to have you back. Everyone that was here before, everyone that's here again. We're just hanging out all day long in the basement. We're just hanging out all day long in the basement. We'll see what kind of appetite there is for basketball post-game tonight. And, what'd you guys think of the game? Like the first, 10 minutes or so? It's like, all right, we got a little tempo. We got a little shooting. Then it kind of turned into an exhibition game slop fest there down the stretch. So hard to know. The Orange turned it over 17 times. They'll have to clean that up. Did win the rebounding battle. They did shoot a lot of threes. It calmed down as the game went over. Half their shot attempts in the first half were from three, but this is a team that certainly has more capable shooters than last year when they didn't have any. But now they have, JJ made the one early, but Nate Kings, he only took one, made it. Nate George made one out of three. Tyler Betsy, he's going to be an intriguing character this season to see what his playing time is. 14 points, led all scorers, legit 6'8", big guy, sweet shot. But he also was driving Red like clinically insane with his lack of defense. So we'll see how that affects his playing time as the year goes along. Because my goodness, he was driving Red just absolutely batty with his defense in the ball game today. So it's a situation where it's an exhibition game. Yeah, Cayenne made it 3, Jen. Welcome back, Jen. Like, they won the game. Okay, it's not really about winning or losing in games like this. I said it in No Wrong Answers yesterday. I've said it various times in the lead up to the season. A game like today, especially after a season like last year, especially with so little returning from the team, so we're kind of starting over from scratch here. Like, did the look of the team pass something resembling an eye test? And, yes and no. They're way more athletic than last year, clearly. Way more athletic than last year. William Kyle is a bouncy athlete. They're going to be able to actually ponder the idea of guarding the rim this year in a way they could not with Eddie Lampkin last year. What's up, Cuse Vegas? Oregon Cuse. Ooh, West Coast editions here as we get into the late night. So that's good. William Kyle's free throw motion scares me deeply, as does JJ. My goodness, that hitch in his delivery was worse than last year. Yeah, T-Takes, we're doubling up. We don't leave the basement. I've locked the door from this side. I couldn't get out if I wanted to. I guess I could if I locked it from I locked it from the other side. I don't even know how I did it. I'm stuck down here. But, link pinned to the top. You guys know the deal. If you'd like to join vis-a-vis video call, that option is available. We're hopeful there's going to be a Ren Autry post-game press conference. There's a link claiming it will be available. I'm just going to keep clicking it and seeing what happens here. SU Talk 44. Is Ricky Collins Jaquan Carlos? In ability, I'd say they're unfair comparisons because I think anyone that had high hopes for Jaquan Carlos last year was kind of out of their gourd. Like, I don't know why anybody would have thought he was going to be good. He was a 10-point-a-game scorer from Hofstra who was yay high. That never really felt like it was going to translate, and it never really made sense to me at all. Ricky Collins was a former 4-star recruiter, came this way from LSU. So the coming into the program, I think, very different. Well, we've what we saw from Jaquan last year and what we've seen from Ricky this year. Yeah, maybe we could do that. Red, yeah, we're gonna see where Red goes this season. Red, Tyler Betsy. My one takeaway from this game is Tyler Betsy's defense is going to drive Red Looney Tunes, but his offensive ability seems to be enough that you got to get him out on the court. He's a big dude. He was a 4-star recruit and the whole thing. So we'll keep our eye on that. But especially after the last month of football, I'm going to imagine you'll all agree with me on this. It's good to have Cuse Hoops back in our lives. Oh, Red saying things. Red's doing things. Hang on. Here we go.
We let them back in the game, and we had 17 turnovers. That's way too many, but that's going to happen when we try in different lineups and putting different people in different situations. Again, this is not about this game. This is about our team playing against someone and trying to learn what we have and move forward and get better. It was some good things, but some things obviously you want to improve. So, I was proud that these guys, were in a first game like that and got challenged and pushed and pulled it together at the end. Donnie stepped up, made some big free throws. We got the stops when we needed it. So that's a start. But again, I would say it was gritty, but it wasn't pretty. It was both teams were out there fighting and battling. So again, for our first game, our first test, some good things, but obviously we got to continue to get better. I thought we had some really good moments defensively, and then offensively, if we take care of the ball, I think we hold them to lower than 66. So again, more to improve on, and we look forward to it. Again, it was the first good test for us. I'm really excited about this group. I can't wait till we really keep getting better, keep gelling. I like what I've seen out there. We just got to keep building on some other things.
Red's got bars, gritty, not pretty.
Again, we can't let our we can't have these laws defensively. We had a couple of mishaps. They got a couple of loose balls. We can't give them, easy shots. But for the most part, I thought we made them take contested shots. I thought we did a good job here and there. We just had some laws, which was expected, to be honest with you. You playing different people, different lineups. First game out there. It's the first game jitters. The families. Coming to see these guys play the first time. So again. The thing that I took away is that we have some laws. We got to be more consistent with our defensive effort. Then offensively, we can't turn the ball over 17 times, right? And we'll get better with that.
How would you assess the final sequences of this game?
Hey, a microphone.
Was it just kind of wilting away defensively?
No, I think they made. They made end of the shot clock heave. Which happens to us for some reason. I thought they made a couple of shots that were tough shots, and then they we got really careless on offensively where we just couldn't get the right shot and take care of the ball, especially at the end. But we'll get better at that. We needed this game.
Coach, how important are exhibition games for your team, and how much do they allow you to learn about your team?
A lot. The things that you're talking about, right? So a lot of these things that showed up in today's game were the things that we were preaching all summer long and even towards September, but they only playing against each other. So it was good to be able to them to get out and play against someone else, right? These guys have been going at it since July, so this was really good. So this group of men, these young group of men, they were ready to go, they were ready to play. I'm excited, but it was good. You learn a lot. You learn some things, things that as a coach but now they get a chance to see it, right? We gotta do a better job on the glass. We gotta do a better job communicating. We gotta do a better job of taking care of the basketball. So those are the things that now they get a chance to see that. So I think we'll improve on that.
Red doesn't sound resigned to defeat
Last year
this
you
year.
said
That's
you wanted
nice.
to play with a lot more pace, a lot faster, a lot more possessions. After one exhibition game, how would you describe your team's pace of play early on?
It would have been good if we didn't turn the ball over 17 times. If we didn't turn the ball over 17 times, I think, and we miss a handful of layups, drives, that we normally make. If we took care of the ball and made a couple more layups and drives, we probably would have been, 84, 86, 87 points, 85 points. So again, some of our guys, missed some easy ones, but that's going to happen. That's going to happen. But I thought our pace was good, for the first time out.
First half you used like 13
Turnovers because of pace.
The second half about half
That's
that,
also a
and
thing.
then really over the last 5-6 minutes of the game, you settled in on a 5. Was it really important to win this game tonight, coming off last year?
No, I looked at it as a great opportunity to get a group of guys to finish up a game, in a game like that, right? Like that was my mindset again, using these guys, and then, you kind of go with the guys that have some experience. So I thought it was good for that first group to be in a game like that and see how they would react and they would respond. I thought they responded well, Again, I thought they responded the last really the last 345. I thought they responded well, made some free throws, got some stops, got some rebounds, and we pushed it. So I thought we did a decent job.
Good to hear Mike Waters on the question, Mike. Is it not the Hall of Famer?
I don't think anyone, really surprised me. I've had a chance to watch these guys for a long time, since July, and the practices have been spirited. So again, everything that I've seen everyone kind of do those things. I think the biggest thing that we were trying to evaluate was how we play together, taking care of the basketball. Defensively, obviously, that's an area that we want to really improve on. I think this is a good start. This is a good start because of us turning the ball over so many times and a couple of last-second shots. I mean, you take a couple of those away, we stay down. You had a pretty defensive game as far as holding the team to about 60 points.
It's the first game Donnie's played since January, and coming off that injury. He was quiet a lot tonight, but how did you think he played? I
thought he really finished up well for us. I thought at the end of the game he was big. He got some big rebounds, and he went to the free throw line and made some shots. Made some free throws. I thought, and again, he hasn't played in about 9-10 months, so it was his first time getting swing. So he was excited. So this was good for him. I thought for his confidence and him going, especially the end of the game the way he did, that'll help us.
Coach, how's Sadiq doing?
Sadiq's doing well. He'll be fine. We gotta take it day by day with him.
That was a very mysterious upper body injury. No Sadiq White tonight. Would have liked to see him.
What do you make of your team's ability to find the open shooter today?
I thought we did a good job. I still think we missed a couple, especially in those short roll situations. I thought Donnie had a chance to get someone, and Will had a chance to get someone. But I thought, I thought we shared the ball. We got shots. So we like to get more threes than 22, because I think this team has a real good ability to make shots. So we got to do a better job with that. And again, probably because we turned the ball over 17 times, that's why we didn't get more opportunities to do that. All right, I didn't think our transition game was good today as well. So those are the things that we got to keep working on.
They're going to shoot a ton of threes this year, just like an asinine amount of threes this year.
I think Kyle, he gives you a lot of versatility, a lot of speed. You can switch if you want. But he's a rim protector, so again, a guy that can guard you on the perimeter, and he can, he does a good job of protecting the rim. We haven't had that in a while. I believe we had, 4 blocks today, and I thought we altered some shots. So I thought we did a good job there with our activity around the basket.
He could jump, unlike the previous center.
At home, and does this being an NCAA tournament host site factor into that?
It definitely did, and that's the plan. We talked about that. We had this opportunity to come up here and play, because that's the end goal, to be playing in one of these sites. Just the same as we played a Drexel game later on this month, in one of the NCAA tournament sites. So again,
to that, just as a follow up.
Maybe, I don't know, but I felt like, sent a good message to our team, and our fans that, hey, this is, what we're trying to do.
Do you like the ability to kind of expand the presence of the program across the state of New York? Are you potentially looking at things in Rochester or Albany down the road?
Always looking to try to play, especially upstate. Syracuse, comprises of, anywhere from Albany to Buffalo to Rochester. So whenever a good situation comes, again, Buffalo's a good team. I just thought, anytime we get a chance to do that, we have to take advantage of that.
They won 9 games last year. Got to play Jerry in Albany.
Do these exhibition games have on our non-conference regular season games?
I'm not sure. Say it again.
What kind of impact do these exhibition games have on non-conference regular season games? As far as a substitute, as far as learning about your team early in the season, or?
I think you're talking about scheduling philosophy. I thought being able to play, because they changed the rule to be able to play against a good opponent. In Buffalo, I know that their record didn't reflect that last year, but I knew that they were bringing some older guys. I knew they would be older.
They won 9
I
games.
thought this would be a good challenge for us. So, I think it's really not about the non-conference, it's about your team. And I think every coach wants to test their team in an exhibition that doesn't count to see where they're at. I thought this was a good challenge for us. I think we'll take a lot out of this and learn a lot out of this, and then get ready for our next game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Our locker room will be open. Buffalo's coming in following Coach Autry.
Okay, there goes Red. Bye, Red. Ooh, wow. It's dramatic. It feels like an aggressive end to the press. Just go. Black. All right, so there we are. Red Autry press conference done, so completed. The Red pressers end like before a Fran or a Jim Boeheim presser would even start. It's interesting, the contrast in those things. Perhaps only to me, but Red gets in there. Red gets in there quick. Red gets in there quick. Yeah, we got a good group here tonight, Jen. Thanks for everyone hanging out, especially you two-timers today. That we kicked it for an hour after that godforsaken game this afternoon, and now we're back here to talk a little hoops. All right, for those of you new or those of you not, link pinned top of the chat if you'd like to join this here program as right now, as far as whatever you want to get into here on the old post-game show. We are here. We are ready, willing, and able to talk whatever at this point when it comes to Q Soups. I have a feeling you don't want to. Anybody want to talk about football again? No, nobody wants to talk about football again. Maybe we can look at my bird feeder camera again later. We can see if it's. We can see what's going on in the darkness of night in my backyard. But that is for a few minutes from now. But what? Me too. Vegas home loans. Me too. Well, both of our wives. I've spent zero time with either. Today. My wife and kids were visiting their cousin today, so they were not at home. But I've spent more time with y'all than any relations today. So samesies. But Kev, we'll pass on you. But if anybody else wants to hop on after, has anyone seen Pat? Is Pat aware of what we're doing? Once we get Pat in the mix for these, things are like all bets are off or whatever the heck we're doing. It's just so weird. Like the first 10 minutes of the game, while there was slop to it, there was pace, there was tempo. First 10 minutes, they were on pace for about 100 points. Like if they had kept that up the whole night, like I predicted 90-something to 70-something before the game, I would have felt really good about it. Now, when you toss this all into the blender and we look at what happened, really sloppy second half. I, like some of you in the chat, I don't know. The first time I heard about a Sadiq White injury was literally as the game was tipping off today. I assume most of you were watching the broadcast on Qs.com that had the radio simulcast with Tim Leonard and Jim Saddle, and Tim mentioned it like right at tip-off. And, I had just not been paying attention to basketball up until then. I was finishing some football production and whatnot throughout the afternoon after our fine post-game show. That caught me off guard, and I don't know, for now I'll take Red at his word that he's fine and he'll be back soon. But whoever mentioned, Chance Westry, how many injuries have we seen here in the last couple of years where it's like, oh, yeah, it's nothing. And then like 3 months later, it's like it turned out that, his leg was sawed off in a logging accident or something. So, like, Ryan, it terrifies me, and I don't know anything. Like, Sadiq's probably fine. But at the same time, like, if you're hurt now, like, what's up with that? What's up with that? Because Sadiq, and, I thought Cayenne played reasonably well. What he ended up with, 10 points, 17 minutes. Did have 3 turnovers, but I thought it was a solid first game for Cayenne Anthony here today. Sadiq White's technically their highest rated freshman, and Sadiq does just a lot of those connective things on defense, at least is my understanding of what he's going to bring to the Orange this year. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'd like not to worry, but recent history of Syracuse basketball and Chance Westry specifically, anytime just some weird, mysterious preseason injury pops up, it's like, Don't remember, like, 2 years ago, Judah missed the first game of exhibition, like, just completely out of the blue. It was like, what? And then he was perfectly fine. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a Chance Westry thing. That's the hope, because I'm intrigued by Sadiq White. I'm intrigued by Sadiq White, and I don't want that to be a thing, because you kind of look at what they had going today. They could have used a guy like that. I like Kyle. We didn't see a lot of Ibrahim Swari off the bench today. I didn't really get a sense of him. He played 10 minutes. Donnie, there was good and bad to Donnie today. 11 points, 6 boards, 3 and 9. He was 0 of 3 from 3, made all of his free throws. He looked right? Like he looked correct. He didn't look hobbled. He didn't look injured. He certainly didn't. I mean, think back to his last few games last year. He could barely move. So it looks to me, anyway, that everything is healthy with Donnie. I think that's going to be key. I still think that this team, the best possible scenario of this team is if Donnie becomes the best player on the team. That still feels to me like the best possible option for this team if Donnie becomes the best player. So we'll see how that all goes. I don't know. I don't know a lot. And the main thing I learned today, and I was having this chat with a variety of people on Twitter throughout the day, throughout the game, that they at least looked athletically like a Syracuse basketball team, right? I think like they at least looked athletically like a Syracuse basketball team. I hope so. It felt that way, that they looked athletically like a Syracuse basketball team. I hope it plays out that way. But you know, I don't know. Why did this not send? Send my tweets. I was telling people that the post-game show is 10:25 p.m. Why? What time zone? Why is this sending at 10:25? No, don't be pending. Send right now. What are you talking about, 10:25 p.m.? This is very confusing to me. What's happening here? Did that send? Is anyone getting my tweet that the show has started? People that are all here watching the show already? What the heck? What is going on with technology at this moment? It's not sent. It's ridiculous. I've worked so hard on the thing for it not to be sent. I disagree with the whole thing. Don't mind me. I'm just talking to myself. Carry on amongst yourself. What the Chance Westry thing. Whew, man. A little toughness from Donnie, but he looked springy. He looked stronger. We liked that. Betsy can go. I just don't know if he can guard anybody. Hopefully he can guard somebody. Do we think he can guard anybody? We'll see if that, I think my computer thinks I'm in, like, a different time zone. I don't know why. Up here it says I'm in this time zone. Like, this, like, what's going on? Like, it's trying to send things an hour from now. People are going to learn about the post-game show after it's over. Yeah. Worth watching on replay or no? A basketball exhibition game is never worth watching on replay. I don't care what happened tonight. A basketball exhibition game on replay. My goodness, no. Like, why is this not sending? It should be like it. I clicked send from my social media manager program. And normally when I click send now, the thing it does is send now. Jordan says it's up now. Interesting. I don't know what it's doing. And I've clicked send now a lot of times, so you may just get a barrage of things. Apologies. I don't know what this is doing. Hey, there's the graphic I made. Oh, look, it sent twice in a row. Okay. Everyone enjoy it all twice in a row. Whatever. Okay. Chance Westry. He and John Cena are great friends. You can't see either of them. Yeah. Kyle, I agree with you, fellow Florida. I like William Kyle. I think, would it be better if he was 6'11" than 6'9"? Sure, but he's athletic, and he's going to be a rim protector. He may struggle against big, strong centers, but realistically, how many people have big, strong centers anymore these days? Like, how many people have that these days? So is that a big thing not to have? I don't know. I was discussing on Twitter with somebody to say, hey, the JJ is JJ. We'd like to see him get to the rim more. Stop leaning on the three. That, at least in the exhibition game, hadn't changed at all. Tonight he was 1 of 5 from three. Half of his shots were from the outside. Last year, JJ had to shoot threes. There were no shooters on the team. This year, Nate Kings can shoot it. Nate George can shoot it enough, from my understanding. Betsy can shoot it. Cayenne can shoot it. I was wondering if Luke Fennell could shoot it. I think he may be, a little bit away. If you're my guess, how's this rotation going to get trimmed down? I'm not sure if there's room for Fennell in it right now, or Bryce Zephyr or Aaron Womack. But if you want to look at how this is going to get trimmed down, there are enough guys on this team that can shoot it that I would prefer JJ limit his outside shots and just get to the rim. Get to the rim, because you can do that. Then we saw his first free throw late in the game, and maybe he don't want to get to the rim, because then you got to go to the place 15 and a half feet from the basket where you stand all by yourself, and you got to make the shots and the whole thing. So, yeah, it's I don't know. The J.J. Starling experience has been something here for the last few years. Fennell's supposed to be a shooter. I mean, that's what we're told, Q's Vegas, though. Tim and Sats during the broadcast were kind of talking about, and they've been at practice. Like, maybe he's not right at the moment. So I might lean on them, having watched it. Like, he's clearly talented. He's clearly got some skills. It's hard to tell from watching a guy play for 12 minutes ever. He has the potentially best mullet in the history of Syracuse basketball. If you can think of a better mullet, drop that in the chat. I mean, there's been better hair. Rosie Bowie's fro. I mean, not to be trifled with, or Louis, but a better mullet in the history of Syracuse basketball, I got nothing right now. But we'll see. If you're going to have to trim the rotation somewhere, I'd say right now he's not necessarily on the inside of the line, though. I did, one of the things I wanted to see, I needed to see him on the court. All right, is he 6'6" or is he 6'6"? No, he was 6'6". He was bigger than JJ. He was bigger than Cayenne. That is an intriguing looking prospect, if not this year, for the future, because you could clearly tell he's got a flair about him. He was throwing some kind of crazy passes, but, once he reels that in a little bit, I think he'll be kind of interesting to watch. Again, if anybody would like to join the program here going forward, we've got the link pinned top of the chat, and you can hop on at any time. Oh, we got Mark in NYC with us. It went poorly the last time we tried to bring Mark in NYC on. I have faith, which, as we know, is belief without evidence, but I have faith that it's going to work better this time when we bring on Mark in NYC. If I could possibly hit the right button that I'm trying to hit. Boop. Yeah, that's the button I was trying to hit. I have faith. I have faith it's going to, if my mouse, we're struggling. We're on the struggle bus with technology right now. I have faith. Mark in NYC. Let's hit the button. Let's bring on Mark. What's going on, Mark? How are you tonight?
Brian, can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's a beautiful thing. Perfect.
It's a miracle.
What's
Belief without evidence. The cake's been in the oven. Just trying to quote some Dino lines right now.
I mean, it's always fun. I don't care if it's his basketball and he's been gone for 2 years. Dino lines are always a joy.
Didn't get a chance to call into the football show, but I can't even talk about the football team right now. I mean, only so much to say about that. But I totally agree with your line. I think, this just on its face, the basketball team just kind of looked the part as opposed to years past. It just kind of seemed like we had bigger, more athletic bodies. but you're kind of starting to get to it. But I guess the only like kind of downside that I'm starting to think about is there just seems to be too many guys on this team, which is never really a bad thing. But I'm just really curious how they're really going to start to trim the rotation. Like as you said, I don't think there's much room for Luke Fennell to play, but I imagine there'll be about 7 or 8 guys in rotation. There just seems to be like 11 playable guys right now. So
yeah,
that's kind of the only negative that I'm starting to see right now.
I'd say obviously the starting 5, which is both Nate's, Kings, and George with J.J. Freeman and Kyle. That's 5. Cayenne's going to play. That's 6. Suarez, your backup big. He's going to play. That's 7. Betsy's clearly in the rotation. That's 8. Assuming whatever reason Sadiq White wasn't in there tonight isn't anything long term, he's going to play. That's 9. I know Red said he wants to play 8 million guys, but realistically, we see what happens when you start trying to play those guys. Like I just named 9. That seems to me anyway, Mark. Like that's enough if those guys are all performing.
Is there anyone that you think might be like a red shirt type player? Like I was thinking Luke Fennell could be a red shirt type guy, but maybe he's not.
I'd say like Aaron Womack, who's the freshman shooter out of Milwaukee. He seems like he played 5 minutes tonight. Like I don't see any room for him in the rotation. Fennell, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'd say for one, it's rare. I think when you see players come from overseas or Australia to redshirt in the first place, they're usually a little bit older to begin with. I doubt it. I bet he'll stay in the rotation in some of these early games, but Aaron Womack would be my guess of a redshirt at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I appreciate it, Brian. I love what you're doing with the show. I think we as fans all appreciate it. You're really doing a fantastic job, and looking forward to following throughout the season.
All right, Mark, appreciate the call as always. There's our guy Mark in New York City. He tried to call in, I forget, was it postgame last week? And things went awry. We kept trying to get him on the air, and it just didn't work. And then there it worked. So there we go. So that means everything's working. So the link is pinned top of the chat. If you would like to join the show, Mark never calls in with video. That's not a thing that wasn't working. That is a choice by Mark. It could be a choice by you. If you'd like to call in with video, take your phone. It doesn't need to be on a stand. Mine's on a stand right now, and just hold it vertical, and then don't drop it. When you're 2 post-game shows deep, whoo, I can't handle my post-game shows. When you're 2 post-game shows deep, it gets kind of crazy. But yeah, you can do that, and you can be on the show, and we'll hang out for a little while longer. So there we go. I'll be interested in, yeah. Oh, yes, and if you go to my link tree, you can donate me money. You don't have to, but I accept funding because there is a Venmo link there, a business Venmo. That's how you know it's legit. And my link tree is linked to literally anywhere you might have found me from, including this very YouTube they're at. I keep saying to you, we talked about it in some post-game show recently, and in my brain that I need to figure out a way to put like an easily clickable thing on the page to donate voluntarily if you choose. But I just haven't gotten around to attempting to figure it out yet. So there we are. Jim Took, how did Buffalo play? Are they deep? Buffalo won 9 games last year. They were all right. I don't think they're that good. They had some size at center. They hit a bunch of threes late. And yeah. What if you met me at Wegmans? Yeah, you can. I accept cash donations at Wegmans, especially at Wegmans these days. Have you seen the prices there? Holy crap. How can any of us afford to shop at Wegmans? Unless they want to sponsor the show, then Wegmans is a wonderful and great place. We're open to all. But yeah, buy me snacks at Wegmans. Buy me snacks at Wegmans. I'm all for that. You know what I used to run into at Wegmans, like an oddly high percentage of the time I was at Wegmans, was Mike Hopkins. And he was always like just getting in the checkout line, like buying a pack of gum or something. Just, hey! Love Hop. Crazy SOB. I digress. Should we name our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game? Should we do that? Should we see if anything's going on the bird cam? Should we check it out? Is anything going on? No, I didn't. Hang on, I gotta. Without the branding, like, what's the point of it all, right? We gotta get the branding on it to do it, to make it look all fancy and whatnot. We got to check out the backyard in the dark here as we get ready to name our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game when it comes to basketball season right now. It's hard to make the leap. Remember last year at this time, like, we were doing all this same stuff, like it had started, but basketball season last year didn't really feel like it started until I don't know, until like December. Like, because we were so into the football last year, it was just like, yeah, you guys do whatever you want, and we'll catch up with you later, and we'll figure it out. But then, like this year, the football team did what they did today, and it's like, hey, basketball, that's neat. All's quiet in the backyard. There's some lights on my deck. There's no birds at the bird feeder. No birds at the bird feeder, but if there were, it does have a night vision thing. You see, what's funny is basketball seems early this year. It's at the same exact time as always, Jen. It does seem early. I think it's specifically because football was so engaging last year, and because, like, the year before we were engaged in football in November because it was so absurd. And then we were on Dino watch. And then the year before was the year they were 6-0, so we were engaged in football to deepen the season. We spent 3 straight years being engaged, like really engaged in football, deep into November, where here we sit on October 25th, and Syracuse, what did I see the stat is? That since Angeli's been hurt, they've been outscored 140-50. Is that a problem? 140-50? Is that a problem? All right. There's the Wild Birds Unlimited Backyard Bird Feeder at night. All is quiet in the backyard. All is quiet in the backyard at the moment. Shall we name our Wild Birds Unlimited Backyard Bird Cam Big Air Player of the Game? I've made the name too long. Nate George is your choice, Ryan. All right. I was going to potentially lean the way. Oh, I put the box score up there instead. We're going to move that out of the way. We're going to move that over here so I can look at it. I was leaning toward William Kyle, 10 points, 9 rebounds. Nate had 4 of the 17 turnovers. William Kyle had 3. I'm leaning toward William Kyle. Tyler Betsy's an obvious choice as well. He had 14 points. So Betsy you could toss up there. He also got yelled at all game long by Red about his defense. Here's why I'm leaning toward Kyle. Cayenne had 10 points as well. The internet would like that. I'm leaning toward Kyle because he was doing stuff that nobody on the team could do last year due to the fact that he is capable of jumping off the ground, and last year's center was not capable of jumping off the ground. So, yeah, that's my lean at the moment. What's everybody else leaning on right now? Kyle, yeah, Lebdell, always a good choice. Betsy, Nate, Cayenne. Ryan, are you saying that Kyle was your second choice? Anybody else? I've made a graphic for it, and I took something out of NBA Jam with somebody flying up in the air, which kind of matches the dunk. Ryan agrees with Kyle. KC fan says Kyle is a good pick too. All right, there it is. It's sort of unofficial because it's the preseason. It is official because we're staring into the darkness of night on the Wild Birds Unlimited Backyard Bird Cam. But William Kyle, one of the 11 billion new players on this year's Orange basketball team, is our first inaugural Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game for basketball season. You've earned it, William Kyle. Okay. Nothing is happening in the backyard. We can probably stop looking at the backyard right now. Yeah, his free throw percentage he actually made some late, but my goodness, it was not like that's a grim looking free throw stroke to look at. It's not pretty. What do you end up shooting from the line? He ended up going 4 out of 7, where if you watched only the 7 shots and did not see if they went in, you would have thought he went 0 for 7. So we'll take 4 for 7 on that. And just remember, where was William Kyle 2 years ago? South Dakota State? One of the Dakotas? He was up in the Dakotas somewhere. South Dakota State, I want to say. Like UCLA had a wonky year last year. This guy was a really good player at a lower level 2 years ago. I think he's going to be a useful player for the Orange this year. So I'm going to go William Kyle for our Wildbirds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game today, mainly because he can jump over things, unlike some of the previous people at the position. Yes, Jordan, it is nice to have an athletic 5 again who can slam it. It is very, very nice to have that again. My goodness, because not having it as we saw last year, my goodness, not having it was not good. Next post game for football, you're bringing back the rage. KC fan, the out of bounds rage. Oh man, that is a long ago inside joke. I like it. Bring it back. And is related to professional football, right? Was that a Chief? No, was that a Syracuse thing or Chiefs thing? I don't even remember what it came from anymore. But there was rage. I don't even remember what game that originated from. Any meaningful takeaways, Super Cap? It's always hard to be certain you have a meaningful takeaway from an exhibition game, right? Like, it's now 17 years since Syracuse lost to Lemoyne in an exhibition game because Jim Boeheim was amused himself for a few minutes too long that the team was just getting thrashed in man, and then he started coaching late and tried to win the game and just ran out of time. So what can you learn in a game like this? I learned the biggest takeaway I had from this game is Syracuse basketball looks athletic again, which the Orange have lost games here in the last few years by being out-athleted. And that's never been the case for Syracuse. Like last year, they lost games by being out-athleted. And that, for Syracuse basketball, is inexcusable. You shouldn't be losing games by just not having the horses to literally be on the court. Other teams can have better players, but they shouldn't just overwhelm you athletically. That happened a few times last year. It happened because your point guard was yay big in the whole thing. Like Nate George, he's an ACC point guard. He led the league in assists last year. We like that. They looked the part this year. I need to see Donnie be a little more assertive, get himself inside, just be the guy that we think he can be. I need to see JJ in attack mode more than we saw today. I think Cayenne's a player, man. Like, when the ball gets in his hand, it finds its way in the hoop. When the ball gets in his hands, it finds its way in the hoop. Jordan's not Jordan? Wow, we have another Jordan. Yeah, they're going to make more threes this year because they have people capable of it. And their best shooter, whomever it is this year, be it Kings, be it Cayenne, be it Betsy, is not Chris Bell. Remember Chris Bell? Wasn't that a fun 3 years? Who enjoyed Chris Bell? I enjoyed Chris Bell. Lala was there tonight? Was she, right? Yeah, Cayenne's really smooth, man. And my main takeaway from Cayenne here is, now, Melo's defensive effort in college and the pros was, whatever. Though he did average double-figure boards here at Syracuse. Cayenne was in there trying to guard, so we like that. We like that. We like that Cayenne was in there, giving it the old, I'd say more than the old college trying to guard. Yeah, I did not notice. I just didn't occur to me Lala might be at a rando exhibition game in Buffalo. Cayenne may be more impactful than expected. No, I don't think necessarily so, because I think what I saw tonight is kind of what I hoped he'd be. Like, what did he play? He played 17 minutes tonight. Realistically, that number's probably going to tick up a little bit. Like, if I was going to do a projection for him right now, and then Nate Kings only played 19 minutes tonight, I'd say Cayenne probably averages like 20, 22 minutes a game. I'd guess. The next game will tell more. Maybe, maybe not. The next game's against a D2 team. This is against a D1 team. Like, in theory, this game is going to be significantly trickier than whatever Pace is all about on Wednesday. This game is going to be more representative of the size and athletes you're going to play against this year than whatever you're going to see on Wednesday night in the Dome against a D2 team. the pace setters. Yeah, I like Cayenne. I think Cayenne's going to have a good year. He's just so smooth on offense. He is so smooth. He's not as big as Dad, but man, he got the smoothness. He got the smoothness from Dad. He's what we wanted Chapa to be last year. Oh man, I've just forgotten so much about last year's team. Kings only took 1 3, but he made it and it looked nice. Kings look good. Nate Kings, 19 minutes, 7 points, 4 boards. He looked good. Got to the rim a couple times, better than I was aware he was capable of. Made a nice left wing 3 early in the game. It was the first few minutes of the game. Didn't shoot another. I'd like to get his 3-point volume up a little bit. And I think unless Tyler Betsy's lack of defense and defensive constant miscues, unless that drives Red completely insane, I think he's a talented enough offensive player to get on the court. And he's got size. I mean, Betsy is 6'8" and thick. Like, he's got size. There's a lot of willowy athletes on this team. Betsy's a big, strong dude. So, like, I don't like that it was a game against a 9-win Buffalo team late on. You would have rather won this by 20 and just not thought about it. But I'm not going to get too caught up on that on a day like this. Yeah, what I don't know yet, Kevin, to that is who is the backup point guard right now. I mean, clearly you know your point guard is. It's Nate George. That's not a worry. That's good. Is your number and for backup point guard, let's call it this. Who's your number 2, number 1 ball handler? How about that? As opposed to, just a true backup. Is it JJ? Like, Fennell's got some of those skills, but I don't think that's going to be him. And, like, I don't think that would be Cayenne. I don't think that's something that Nate Kings would be comfortable with. So, yeah, I left my backyard bird cam only into my ears. There's a train horn blowing outside. It could be Fennell Super Kent from what I saw tonight. I don't know if he's quite ready for that yet. It could be Fennell. It depends how they play it. Like, it could be, like, if you start putting together a rotation. Yeah, Cayenne brought the ball up a few times. And he was fine. Like, your starting 5 is George, Starling, Kings, Freeman, and Kyle. Then you got Cayenne's going to play off the bench, and he's rotating in right now at the 2, maybe the 3. He's rotating in at one of the wings. Betsy's coming in off the bench. He's like a 3, maybe a 4 if they go small and play Freeman at center. You got Soiree. He seems to be just a pure backup for Kyle at this point. And then the one that we haven't discussed yet is why did I just blank on the dude who didn't play tonight? The freshman who didn't play tonight. That's supposed to be good. Help me out. Totally forgot his name. He's not in the box score because he didn't play. You know who I'm talking about. The one who's good. So he'll be in the rotation. Somebody save me. So, yeah. I think it depends, like, how, are you going to play, yes, White. How, are you going to play Fennell? Yes, Sadiq White. That's who I failed at thinking of. Like, Sadiq White's a 4 in how you're going to do this. So, like, what are you going to do when Nate George is out of the game? Or is Nate George going to play 35 minutes a game? Like that, or is JJ going to play a million minutes a game? Red says he doesn't want to do it, then it happens anyway. And I think that's where a lot of Cayenne's minutes potentially come in. Like, when one of those guys is off the floor, now Cayenne's in, and he, like, all right, let's get him going on offense when he comes in off the bench. So, yeah, I was not thinking of Cheffing Dewara, Tyler Betsy's burner. I was not thinking of Cheffing Dewara. Thank you. I'll be intrigued to see how the rotation comes together. And my hope is here, because Red, I feel, has struggled with this, that I want to see a consistent rotation. I want to see a rotation that, yeah, you know, it depends on who's playing well, whatever. But I want to see like people like get it a little more NBA-ish, where people know when they're going in, coming out in the first half, barring foul trouble. Like in the past, I feel one of the things Red has struggled with most as head coach is like he'll get so lost in the sauce of what's going on in the court, he'll forget to keep subbing guys in and out. Like that has been one of the more noticeable things to me. So hopefully it's not one where it's like, oops, forgot to put Cayenne back in the game or something like that. But I like Cayenne. He's a player. He's not dad, but he's a player. He's a legit player. Smooth, buttery smooth stroke. Pace Picante sauce. New York City. Yeah, Pace is a D2 team. So those are always weird ones. Like Syracuse should like smother them athletically. Like that should be a game where like a William Kyle just with his bounciness should dominate you. New York City. Yeah, ooh, Judah, Girard, and Torrance. Let's not do that again. Let's not do that again. So, yeah, I don't know. It was good to see him out there, especially with football just being there earlier today. It was good to see him out there. I'm excited for the year. I think they got a shot to be interesting, whereas last year was more just like, Then you got Binghamton coming up in a week and a half, right, for the season opener. What do you got, 3-4 games before you go out to Vegas, and then the schedule just gets real hard real fast. So hopefully they can find a little rhythm, a little rotation before we get to that point of it. Hopefully they do. There's a Pace degree in Jen's family. Okay. I don't think I've ever been. I've never trod upon Pace's campus. While I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is lovely. That's why I'm sure it is. But got to clean up the slop. Too much slop. The rebounding I thought was solid today. I didn't have any problems with the rebounding. I think they're going to block more shots as the year goes along. I'd like to see Donnie get more involved in the shot blocking game with Kyle. Get both of those guys out protecting the rim together. I think that could be a really good tandem. And then let's get the two vets, Donnie and JJ, going more toward the rim. Let's do that. Any more late night thoughts here? What's going on? LSU is taking the lead, though Texas A&M is the ball right down by the goal line. Anybody else watching that wacky Vandy Missouri game earlier? That game was nuts. Guy catches a Hail Mary with his knees at the half-yard line to end the game. That was bonkers. You can park at Pace and catch a shuttle to Westchester Airport. All right. I'm going to keep that in mind if the scenario ever comes up for me, Supercap. To HPN Westchester Airport. Where does upstate New York? That's enough out of you, KC fan. Westchester, upstate. New basketball season. We retired from the Taekwondo life at the moment, Kev, but the new basketball season starts, I believe it's a week from Monday. I believe that's when it starts, and somehow, Kev, I have ended up as the head coach of one of the teams this year. So we're going to see how that goes. I've got the whistle. We're ready for action. It's like first and second graders this year. And from what I've read, like practice is like, it's a 45-minute practice, but apparently like last year, it's kindergartners, everybody's in the gym, your mom, dad, everyone's there watching. Apparently this year, like no parents in the room. Like we're taskmasters. So maybe because there'll be less external distractions, they'll pay attention a little bit. I don't know. We'll see on that. Or maybe by December. The other option is I will have lost my ever-loving mind, and we'll see how that goes. But that all gets going on, I think it's the 4th. Monday the 4th? It's Monday. Monday's the 3rd. I think it starts that week, unless it starts the 10th. I need to look at my email again. I just sent in my shirt size today. To get my official coaching shirt to go with my coaching whistle. Then we'll run some plays. And then we'll videotape it all. I'll send it. I'll just go out to the Autry show and I'll be like, because people actually do this to Red, which I find hilarious. Like I'll go up to Red and be like, now here's some plays. Here's some ball plays, Red. run these plays. I find it wacky that just people go up to coaches and like, nah, here's some plays. So I'm gonna really work on my X and O game. We might work on the give and the go. We're probably still gonna have to work on the just the dribble. The idea that dribbling is required. We're going to have to work on the shot. I'm curious how low the hoops lower. I believe these practices will be held at Manoa Elementary. Did the NIL program? Well, it turns out, here's the thing, Supercat. I had good conversation with the president. Well, let's call him the president. Maybe the commissioner of the league. Let's call him that. That sounds official. And I was able to make some requests of players to be on the team. Now, those requests were based more on the ones that are in Max's class than are the ones that are potentially good at basketball. And a couple of them are a little, they might be some troublesome players in the locker room, but we'll have to see how that goes. So, but I was able to work the NIL to arrange the roster. To hopefully appease the core players of the team so we can have a strong and powerful unit. But we'll see how that goes. Updates as events warrant. Down the line. The season either starts on the 3rd or the 10th. It definitely starts on one of those games because those are Mondays and practices on Mondays. That I'm sure. Stewart to Iceland. There you go. I've flown out of Stewart before. I've never flown out of Westchester. I've flown once out of Stewart. That sounds familiar in life. All right. Anything else before we wrap it up? We've killed another hour of our evening here today. We've all spent, Grover for team mascot. We'll just get Jordan's cat out there. Maybe Jordan wants to be my assistant. I don't think there's anywhere in the bylaws that says you must have children on the team to coach or children at all. There might be. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. We can get Jordan a whistle and a shirt and the whole thing. Get Grover in there. I don't know if they allow cats in the gym. I don't know. We'll have to look into all that. All right, people. Before we let you go, anything else? Anything else? There we go. I think we're going to motion to bring this to a close tonight. I'll be back with you. Stewart's ice cream better than his flight from Stewart's to Iceland. Stewart's ice cream is delicious and potentially nutritious. It's got calcium. So we'll bring this to a close. I'll be back with you 1 o'clock live on Monday for Fran Brown's weekly press conference, getting ready for the Friday night Halloween spectacular between Fran and Bill Belichick and two of the worst godforsaken teams in the ACC. All right, people, have a good night. Have a good rest of the weekend. Check everything out on the socials and all that. If you haven't followed and subscribed yet on YouTube, you probably all have. Do that before you go. And turn the notifications on so you know when we're live next. All right, have a good weekend. We'll talk here in this place again on Monday.
Thanks for watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. We'll see you next time.